Finding and knowing the will of God. In fact, if they've got it on the screens, they can throw it up right now. It's Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2 says this. It said, don't be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It said that you may prove that which is good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. What is good will, acceptable, and perfect will of God? The good, the acceptable, and the perfect will of God. So I always talk about it having like 3 levels. You know, when you go get gas at the gas station, you got low grade, mid grade, and high grade. My daddy used to tell me all the time, never make life decisions when you're in a low grade of spiritual fellowship. He actually had old Corvettes that had 750 to 800 horsepower in the rear tire, and they wouldn't even run on low grade, high grade, any of these grades. He had to go to the airport and get 100 low lead that you'd put in an airplane, because that's the kind of thing it took to fire that car. So he would tell me all the time, whatever you do, don't make decisions in your life in a low grade of spiritual fellowship. Make sure that you're prayed up. Because I watch a lot of people get real fleshly. They haven't listened to God in a long time. They haven't been in the Word. They haven't listened to worship music. They're all worldly and fleshy, and somebody makes them mad, and they get out of the will of God based on their flesh. Oh, I'm preaching good right now. This is where affairs happen. This is where ministries are destroyed. This is where lives are destroyed, because the flesh, if it gets what it wants, the will of the flesh is out of control. It's lost its mind. The flesh wants to be skinny, tan, and happy, but the flesh goes Krispy Kremes, Girl Scout cookies. Oh, I feel the Holy Ghost right now, right? So our flesh is fickled. I've been in a service where you're worshiping God and you're like, oh man, I've never sinned again. I mean, I feel awesome. I love the Lord. 3 days later, I'm a heathen. We'll try it over here. Anybody ever been in a service, you're like, oh God, went to youth camp, went to revival. Oh God, I love you. I mean, it could be right after service and somebody cut you off in traffic. You're like, I'm going to kill you. 10 minutes ago, your flesh was in love with Jesus. 20 minutes later, your flesh will put you in prison. So it gets you out of the will of God. My whole point in making you laugh at that is saying, hey, it's a big deal. Make sure that when you're making life decisions, you're not doing it based on, I really want that title. I really want that raise. I really want. Hey, listen, it doesn't matter. You got to do your time. You do what's right because it's right in the dark, and God reveals it in the light. Y'all follow me? So finding and knowing the will of God. I think too, and I would say this to you, is that don't try to go after titles. You don't have to call me Pastor David. Most people call me PD. It just seems to be the name people gave me. But I don't like need a title. I just am. A Pastor Omar who's in heaven tonight. We never called him Pastor Omar. He just did it. And then one day, a couple thousand people up at Earth City started calling him pastor, and there was nothing we could do about it. If I wanted to stop it, we couldn't do it. They called him what he was. So don't need the title, just do it. It's like, at a fire, you're looking at a fire going, give me heat. And the fire's going, give me wood, I'll give you heat. So put the heat in, put the wood in, and the results will follow. I've been told Ashton today, so hopefully she won't get embarrassed about this, but some kind of event is going to be happening soon, and somebody had asked her to perform at this event, and she said, it started out here, and now it's here, and they're not even paying me. And I said, well, let's talk about that. This is a great opportunity for you to be on a different stage, a really big stage, around a lot of big names and blah, 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 blah. So this is an opportunity. They're not asking you to pay them. And so she said, oh, okay. Which is, that's great. She just needed a dad. You need somebody to tell you, because if you're not careful, you just go, it's monetized. At work, you do this. I'm not getting paid to do this. I don't get paid to pick up the trash. I don't get paid to do. I don't get paid. No, hey, listen, God sees, and believe it or not, some people see. Remember today I told you that I took a picture of a Pac-Man machine, and somebody saw me do that, and they told a guy at our church, and a guy at the church found me tonight and told me that I took a picture of a Pac-Man machine at a coffee shop today, and I didn't even know I was being seen. You're being watched, and you don't know that you're being watched, and God is wanting to elevate you, but our attitude of not gratitude will not allow us to go to the top. It's good, isn't it? So we just need to go, hey, wait a minute. So we don't start out at the top. We work our way to the top through a discovery process. Everybody shout, a discovery process. I heard John Maxwell say that a guy was walking into this really cute, quaint town. And, you got these towns where the courthouse in the middle, it's so beautiful. And he saw this old man sitting on the park bench. It looked like he'd been there really, lived there his whole life. He's cute. And he said, hey, this is a beautiful town. It's amazing. Was anybody, great ever born here? Anybody great born here? And he said, no, just babies. Just babies. Because nobody's great was just born great. We just had babies. They had babies. And that somebody might have turned out great, but you don't turn out great overnight. You do it through consistency, not making all the right decisions. Write this down if you're a note taker, especially online. Success in life is simply this: making more right decisions than wrong decisions. You have to make all the right decisions. You just got to make more right decisions than wrong decisions, and you'll be ahead and get ahead. Does that make sense to you? So through this discovery process, finding and knowing the will of God, I think, especially in God's economy, God is looking at the heart. So I told you a little bit Sunday, we'll go into it a little bit more tonight, but I told you Sunday that there's a guy named David, and he had brothers. And Jesse, the dad, picked all the brothers and brought them up, but he thought he didn't qualify, but God thought he did. His dad was looking at his outward appearance. His dad was looking at his ruddy complexion. The Bible says he was a ruddy, redhead, and didn't have a good complexion. He didn't think he looked the part. His dad thought that. But his father, God, found him and brought him to the forefront. But here's what I want you to get. He was doing time being a shepherd over something that didn't really matter and nobody saw. He was saving sheep from calamity, killing bears, filling lions, filling tigers, saving sheep by himself. There was no TikTok. He couldn't Instagram it. There was no, hey, watch this. I mean, the world would be much different, right? If we would have had this back in the day, it's like we could actually go, Moses is like, look, the Red Sea. Right? But it's not. So there was no acclaim. It was just, I'm doing this in the dark. I'm doing this in secret. I'm doing what's right because it's right. And if you do what's right because it's right long enough, the reality, the paycheck, the dividends, it shows up. So now fast forward. After 15 years, you're going to be. God's going to use you, David. Year 4 or 5, kind of bored, going to church 10 years later, Florida. It's an hour later. When's God going to do this? God's time is so different than ours. So I don't even know. It's 1,000 years a day, and a day's 1,000 years. I don't really understand it all, except that when I'm like, hey, God, I want you to do this for me. And God's like, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, it's 1,000 years. God's coming. I don't understand it, but I do understand if you stick with it, the faithful person shall abound in the blessing. And so now 15 years, 5 years, 5 years, and 5 years. 3 consecutive 5-year terms of nothing, and then David becomes king. But he was actually becoming king. You don't just become king, you're becoming king. You don't just get big arms. It takes time. For me, it's 54 years, and I'm still trying. Okay? So, someone said, oh, so nice, but yet, same time, it's so demeaning. Oh, yeah, it's so demeaning. It takes time. Everybody shout, it takes time. It takes time to get a good marriage. It takes time to get your business going. It takes time. My dad always told me, you're going to be doing something anyway. So you might as well just do what's right because you're going to do the time anyway. 15 years, he's becoming, now he becomes. Now, David kills Goliath. There's the enemy, Goliath. Everybody shout Goliath. Goliath is taunting problems. This is what's going to happen. The news media is there. It's this standoff going on forever and ever and ever, and everybody's scared. And David goes to deliver sandwiches. Not a big deal. Good, acceptable, perfect will of God. He's just delivering sandwiches. He's delivering sandwiches, and check this out. Pay attention right now, especially if you're a business owner. He's just delivering sandwiches, but all of a sudden he sees a problem. Success in life is identifying problems and being able to solve the problem. If you want to be successful, if you want to be rich, find a problem, solve the problem. The better you are at solving problems, the more money you make. All I do at this church is solve problems. I am the chief problem solver. They give me problems all day long, every single day. Tons of problems. Loads of problems. They don't even, it usually starts on Saturday and Sunday. Just problems, problems, problems. There's a whole text string that goes to me with a leadership team of about 30 people, and they just send me problems. And then there's 4 people or 5 people on the DLT. It's higher level problems. Like, hey, they're trying to shut down churches, so they've jacked the insurance up 300% throughout America to try to get them out of business. What are we going to do? And so there's bigger problems and then smaller problems, but they're all just problems. What I don't do is get up and go, I'm just sick of problems. Can I ever have a day that I don't have a problem? God, no. Because if the problems go away, I go to work at Sam's. Nothing against people working at Sam's, but it's not really what I want to do. And I love Sam's. I take Nicole there on Saturday. It's like a picnic because you have a lawn and garden set up and people giving away free food. So I get the free food and I take her to lawn and garden and we have a picnic. But it's not where I want to work. So problems are good if you can solve the problems. And your boss will pay you to solve problems. And the better you are at solving problems before it becomes a problem for him, then he realizes if you leave, he's got a bigger problem. Y'all tracking with me right now? Some of y'all look like you have a problem understanding what I'm saying right now. So you cannot fulfill someone else's dream for your life. You cannot fulfill someone else's destiny for your life. You just got to stick with it until the problem arises. And David said, hey guys, I just brought you sandwiches, but are you going to let that dude talk to your mom like that? About your mom? And he was hurling, the Bible said he was hurling horrible insults towards God and the people of God. And they were all back here scared. And David said, I got a problem. So then they came, give me those jackets real quick. I sent Tim to Goodwill today, and I said, get me 2 jackets, okay? I want one that, just stay there, that doesn't fit me at all, really big. So David, I want to see what he paid for this. $11.49, okay? We got it at Savers. I told him to go to Goodwill, but he had a better idea. Savers is a great place to be, okay? This does not really fit me really well, does it? This is what they brought David. They said, put on this armor, solve that problem. And he said, I cannot go solve this problem in this because I feel like it doesn't fit me. Little translation, he said, it's not tested. He tested that with the bear. He tested that with the lion. So he goes, I know what I know, and I don't know this. You got to wear it. You got to wear that. Well, if you guys know so much about killing this guy, why don't you do it? You wear it. Oh, we can't solve the problem. Okay, then I'm not going to try to put on what's not mine. And I can't be who you're calling me to be. I got to be who God's calling me to be. And I feel ridiculous in this suit. It just doesn't look right. Now, I told him, buy me a super small jacket. So I would be in the super small jacket. He buys me a super small jacket, and I've paid a lot of money to have a suit tailor-made, and it didn't fit better than this fits. It's not a small, this thing fits like a glove. For $16, I'm wearing this Easter. Come on, somebody. I'm like, come on. Look at you. This fits. Holla at you, boy. So I said, okay, Tim, good job. I mean, Using the church's money to buy my clothes. I like it. So I said, I can fake it. I'll be like, okay, it doesn't work. Remember this guy? Is there a video? Remember this guy? Okay. We edited that so it wouldn't be offensive. He says, big guy in a little coat, but he doesn't say big guy. He said fat guy, and we're like, can't do that. So you can't fight in an armor that's not yours. So you're trying to be a preacher and you're not a preacher, or you're trying to be a lawyer and you're not a lawyer. You got to be you and then be comfortable with who you're called to be, instead of saying, but my friend, he's getting ahead, and my buddy, he's getting ahead. You're not looking at them, because the Bible said he who compares himself to another is a fool. So you sure don't want to be in the fool zone. So you got to enjoy your life and realize, with me, I communicate different than Chris Hodges, Craig Rochelle, Kenneth Copeland, Jerry Savelle, Creflo Dollar, Joyce Meyer, Jesse Duplantis, all those guys. There's nobody that can do it like me. You can't do it like me. Try to do what I did tonight. You just can't do it. They can try all they want and they won't do that. But they don't want to do it because they know who they are. But I could be insecure, and I have been in the past, to where when you first start out in life, you parrot. A parrot parrots what you say. So in life, you'll parrot what your mom said. You'll parrot what your favorite TikToker said. You'll parrot what, oh my gosh, my philosophy teacher at college, they taught me this. No. Don't parrot them. Eventually, you'll figure out what works for you and what God called you to do, and then you'll look at the problem and go, David said, I'm not coming to you with spirit of sword. I come to you in the name of the Lord. And then he put in the stones in the sling that he was comfortable with. But if I tried to get up here and preach like somebody else, I couldn't do it. It wouldn't be me. I mean, what other church do you know is going to have their worship leaders sing Boys to Men, Mama? Get back with me on that. If you like that, you can't go to any church in America and get that. There's only one place that sells that sauce. Faith Church. Just say, you can't get it. You can't get it anywhere. I mean, and I know you like it because you picked up your phone. You're like, ain't nobody been photoing me preaching, but they're like, oh, John, Mama. Church should be fun. Should be entertaining. Young people should want to be here, and students should want to be here, and people's lives should change based on this. Let's go to 1 Samuel 17, verse 38. Then Saul outfitted David as a soldier in armor. He put on a bronze helmet on his head and belted his sword around him over his armor. And David tried to walk, but he could hardly budge. David told Saul, I can't even move with this stuff on me. I'm not used to this. And he took it all off. Everybody shout, he took it all off. Shout it one more time. What? You got to take it all off of you. And then he took up his shepherd's staff, and then he selected smooth stones from the brook, and then he put them in the pocket of his shepherd's pack with the sling. And his hand approached Goliath, and as the Philistines went back and forth, shielding the barrier in front of him, he noticed David, and he took the one look down on him and sneered, you mere youngster, you apple-cheeked, peach-fuzzed boy. This is a Message Bible for you. The Philistines, they ridiculed David. Am I a dog that you come after me with a stick? And the next thing you know, he's falling down face forward. Then David takes Goliath's sword, huge sword, picks him up by his long hair, decapitates him, and starts running through the town. And the zero that Dad said will be nothing, and the zero that his brother said he's no good, became a hero. And then the song came into play. Read in the Bible. It says, Saul has killed his thousands. It was on all the radio stations. Saul has killed his thousands, but David has killed his 10,000s. This is what hundreds of thousands of people are screaming, because now the one who would attack them, their biggest adversary, their biggest problem, now became David's biggest promotion. And now, with his own ability, in his own style, his own mojo, his own swagger, he did what only David could do, and he became a hero, some would say, overnight. But we know the rest of the story. It sure was a long night. 5 years, another 5 years, another 5 years. Really, God? Listen, by the time you get to the point, and I'll tell this to the students this week. By the time you get to the point to where you really are successful, you won't really care anymore. But you want to make a name for yourself. Hey, I'm so-and-so. You know who I am? Blah, blah, blah. And your ego gets in the way. About the time that you don't care who gets the credit, God will start really using you. And then people will not be annoyed by you because you're not Mr. or Mrs. Annoying, Mr. or Mrs. Know-It-All, you're Mr. or Mrs. Learn-It-All. Because once you get older, when I was Smoothie King a while ago, Dr. Fasella is so kind. Come here, Doctor. Everybody see you real quick. Just run up here. He's 85 years old, but look how fast he can run for an 89-year-old man. I mean, golly, for 90 years of age, this guy rocks it. So here. So this guy right here.
The pace the good Lord's given me. You don't have to rush it along.
You know what? You know, the DeMonts right now love to hear you talk because they talk the same way you do.
They? Well, they
So
know
I've
good
got
proper
this.
English.
That's right.
I'll
So
show
I
you.
scan this here. So he always loads the Smoothie Kings
the
for me.
Smoothie King.
So he, like for my birthday or whatever, so I have $900 even today of Smoothie King money because he always goes, hey, you get kind of low on your Smoothie King? I'm like, I don't know. And he brings me another card. So when I go to Smoothie King, I don't know, the last 3 times I've went, they changed the app and it's not working. So I have to pay. I got $900 and I'm paying. So today I went to Smoothie King. And so I'm saying this to say, if you can ever act like you don't know. There's 2 girls there about 18, 19 years old. The one saw me and she got excited. She said, oh my God, it's Pastor David. And I'm like, you look like you know something about an app. I said, my daughter's on the phone. I said, Ashton, you can stay for this or not, but could you guys help me? I'm 54 years old, and when I was your age, we didn't have cell phones. I know you don't know anything about this. We didn't have anything. Can you help me? And they looked at me like, this poor old man. God, I love him. I want to help him. And so she did this, and she did this, and she turned down on it. She goes, oh, and it worked because I'm not a know-it-all. People walk around and, I'll tell you, I know about this, know about that. Have you ever heard any people, like maybe you were at a table and there was a table behind you and there was one person, maybe there's 4 people at the table, but there's one person that just doesn't even come up for air. Just talking. Raise your hand. If you don't raise your hand, I'm assuming you're the blabber, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, will you shut up and let them talk? I've looked at tables and thought, I hope he's paying because if not, go home, guys. He's just driving you nuts. He's driving me nuts. People don't like people who know it all. They want people to say, man, I don't know. Raise your hand if it's making sense to you. So, tell you what we do at my family. By the way, give it up for one heck of a genius, ripped up. That's his real hair. Come on, somebody. And he doesn't even dye it. You know, he'll say, that's brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast. Put brewer's yeast in here and your hair stayed dark and you got all your hair. I started having Nicole take it and she started getting hair on her back and I'm like, no more brewer's yeast. No. It's kind of fun that I kind of put the church logo in it and then took a picture and said, no, that's it. No, that's not. She's not here tonight. She's at a movie premiere, but I say that stuff so she'll go watch my sermon. So I, in our last few minutes. But first of all, raise your hand if you're learning something, okay? So how to win friends and influence people is not so much about what you know. It's about if you can find out what they know that you don't know, you're going to be better. And then 2, they're going to feel better. One of my big skills in life that I've taught our team. My kids do this. We've obviously been successful at what we do. So when we go to someplace, in fact, Casper was just at a big church conference, right? You and Austin. In fact, that guy texted me a while ago and said, "Hey man, thanks for having your team here. We're also raising money to plant churches. Will you, Faith Church, help us? We usually do with $10,000 a year. Could you help us again?" And I said, "Hey, we're going to give it our best. We owe about $16 million right now, but we're going to do our best." But when they were there, they're taught from here. We don't go down and tell them what we know. "Oh, we're Faith Church and we do this. There's data. We do this with collection reports. This is how we do blah, 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 blah." We don't want them to know what we know. We want to know what they know that we don't know. And here's what happens, and people don't know what happens. Listen to me now. When you start asking people questions and they start feeling smart, something happens in their brain and dopamine starts hitting and they go, "They said, you don't say. They said, oh my gosh, that's genius. Oh my gosh." And now they feel so good. So you didn't tell them nothing, but they left and they felt so great about themselves. And you walk away making them feel great. Now they're bonded to you and they like you. And then that's how you get along with people better. One more story. My dad would say, "Well, let's cut some windows in this house to shed some lights." I must be missing him because I'm saying his name a lot right now. So I was talking to a guy who's in his 60s who's dating again. And he's rich, super rich. So he's dating a girl. His wife died. And he's dating a girl probably half his age because I said he's rich. And she has a child who's around 11. And he doesn't like the 11-year-old, and the 11-year-old doesn't like him. And he's kind of to the 11-year-old, to the 11-year-old. And so then he's telling me, "I told her this and I told her that." And I said, "Hey," he called me yesterday, because I don't talk too much, but when I do, I'm the only friend that he's got that'll tell him the truth. And because I love him, I tell him the truth. He said, "Hey," he said his name, "Dr. So-and-so, here's what you have to do at your age to get along with people. You got to chill that down about 10 testosterone levels lower. You got to go from a choleric to just like chill." And then finally, so I said, he's going to ruin the relationship, and then you're going to start dating somebody else again, and then you're going to tell me, "Oh, I wish I'd been nice to her because she's pretty and she's nice, and she's been the nicest to you, and she's been the most compliant with your personality of anybody." He goes, "You're right, you're right." So she just calm down. Said it'll work out. So when I was going home, I got a text. He said, "You're right. The only thing is," she texted me, "she told me that I should be nicer to her son, and that I should ask her, that I should tell her please more and thank you." And she doesn't make that boy do that. I text back, said, with voice text, you got to be careful with voice text. Sometimes it says stuff you don't say. I said shirt. I said shirt. But I said, "You're got more degrees than a thermometer. You're in your 60s. You can handle that. If that makes her feel better." And yeah, you're mad because she didn't tell that 11-year-old. But that's a whole lot of not your problem. And then he said, "This is good. You're right." My point is, all I'm doing is I sit and laugh at it because I go, "You're a genius. You're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but you don't know how to get along with people." The biggest thing that people will pay you for, and I'll quit after this, probably. I found that successful people that are super successful don't pay you for what your abilities are. They pay you for your ability to get along with people. How can you motivate people? I don't pay people to do a job. I don't pay Casper to do a job. I don't pay Micah to do a job. I don't pay Katrina to do a job. I don't pay anybody else to do a job. I try to pay them to get them to do somebody else to do their job. So if I find them doing their job, I go, "Well, why am I paying you to do your job?" I need you to get somebody else to do their job. And then this year, people go, well, I don't want somebody else to do my job because if they're doing my job, then I might lose my job. So, well, if you don't find somebody else to do your job, you're sure going to lose your job. Because we duplicate people, because to reach the people that we need to reach, we can't afford to pay everybody. So you need to have 4 mini yous. So you've got to get 4 or 5 people following you that like doing life with you. They lift weights with you. They walk with you. They pray with you. They do bikes with you. You just can't do life alone. And iron sharpens iron. Hey, thank you for watching Faith Church on YouTube, and I want you to subscribe so you can know whenever we go live and post new content. You can also comment below and let us know if the message spoke to you. When you're watching, also know that we want to pray for you. We want to know what's going on in your world, so you can comment below and we'll pray for you. Thanks again for watching on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.